knew the sun would come out just as I'd open my curtains. And then just find a place on your mat, whether that's on your blocks or whatever. Just somewhere that feels comfortable, kind of maybe even the most comfortable that you've been all day. And you might discover that you're a little bit thirsty, or you might discover that you need to have a little wriggle somewhere. So you can make all those little movements and adjustments just so you feel really peaceful. Without any need to change anything, just notice where the breath is moving the body. You don't have to change a thing, just having a watch. And then keeping the breath really quiet. See what it feels like just to start to lengthen the breath and move a little bit more of the body as you breathe. And then just take that a step further, so even deeper breaths, trying to move even more of the body. But keeping the movement easy, keeping the movement comfortable. And then just take one last really big breath. And let the breath go. Yay. And if you've been laying down, you might just take a little time to come up. Yeah, loads of time. And we're just going to, as soon as you're there, just start with shoulder circles. So as I said before, we're really thinking about opening and exploring the mobility of our individual shoulder. And just like we've done before, make it a little bit more active now. So actually use the muscles to move the shoulders. So that means the range of motion will be a little bit slower and a little bit bigger. And circle in the other direction. And the slower you can go, the better. And feel free to allow the jaw to get involved as well. So our shoulder is really intricately connected with the jaw. So if the jaw just wants to open at certain intervals, let that happen. And just have a little rest there. And then just one really interesting thing, and I know we've spoken about it before, but you might have kind of just forgotten about it. So when we take the arm overhead, something really wonderful happens to the shoulder blade. So if you've got, hopefully you've got, yeah, we look good. Hopefully you can find your shoulder blades. If you find, if you might not be able to feel it. I know I've got, yeah, you can use the other arm, but you want the bottom bit. So if you're not quite sure, have a feel of the ribs. And then as you go up, you should find something that's a lot more pointy. And that's the bottom of your shoulder blade. And if you kind of edge it, so edge it up and down, you should feel but there's a really pointy bit at the end. And that does something really magical. So with your hand, hopefully you can do both, depending on what you've got hold of. With your hand still on that tip of the shoulder blade. Is Ted all right there? Yeah. We're on our shoulder, we're on the tip of our shoulder blade. Very tip of it, the bone. Might feel a little bit sensitive, so you don't have to really, really kind of touch it. And then just notice what happens to the shoulder blade when you start taking your arm up. And get it to just below shoulder height. And notice that that tip of the shoulder blade hasn't done that much moving. It's moved a little bit, but it hasn't done that much. And then take it over shoulder and notice that that tip, you keep following it along, wings out. So mine is all the way here now, all the way out to the side. And then follow it back down. And it kind of tucks itself back in. And take your time to really feel that. Because that means that as we take our arm over shoulder height, what has to happen with the shoulders, the bottom tip, not necessarily up, but this bottom tip has to widen. So these muscles here have to be able to widen. Does that make sense? Spread out. So that's part of the muscles that we're going to be working on today. I just thought that was lovely. Lovely. A little muscular interlude. Okay. From here, if you've got a bolster, great. The more space, the better, but it does not the end of the world. We're just going to lift the shoulders and then drop them down really heavy. And if you're kind of on the ground, you might fold your elbows, it's fine. But it's a really big, heavy drop down. And if you can have a little huff as you drop. And then just do one more. And release. And just circle the head. And then when you can tear yourself away from those head circles, you draw the backs of the palms together. Yep. And all we're going to do is we're going to keep the wrists kind of connected as we move and circle our arms. So at no point do our wrists... Oh, I've got really confused. They stay together. And then if you want, once you've got that rhythm, you can close the fists and then open them up as you open up the wrists. And then if you've really got it, you can do the other direction. So you can roll the wrist in the other direction. And then still do this little opening and closing the fingers. I've got completely confused. I'm just going to go with it. Just going to roll. Some of you are like really, it's like super quick, like yeah. And some of you are like, what is happening? How have I got 18 hands suddenly? How's that happened? And then gently come down onto your spine. We've got some really lovely bridges with one arm up and one arm down. So super lovely. Come and find a comfy bridge. Yeah. And then once you come up, try not to lift the chest too much. So try and keep the shoulder blades a little bit connected with the earth, which is going to ensure that we stretch through the lats a little bit more, rather than kind of moving the rib cage. And then lift the right arm up and then really press the left arm down. But rather than just enjoying this sensation, just let it be what it is. Really, really reach with the right arm as if we're trying to reach for something really amazing. And then reach with the left arm down to your feet. And notice that your ribcage is probably going to want to come up, and see if you can keep it down a little bit so that we will stay working with the lats. Really lovely. Just a couple more breaths here. Keep really reaching. Keep really grabbing both hands, one up, one down. Last breath. And then keep your hips up. If you've got space, you can move your arms out to a T and then swap them over. If you haven't, you need to make do. And same thing, so left arm reaching, right arm goes towards your feet. And then hips up, but rib cage down. Keep reaching. Yeah. Really lovely. Keep it active, as active as you possibly can. Really, really finding that space. Lovely. Last couple of breaths. Hips can be a tiny little bit higher there, Elaine, tiny bit. But the rib cage is good, that's it. Nice. And then keep the hips up and just drop the hands to wherever you want. So hips stay up, but hands wherever you want. They might be by your side, they might be up above your head, entirely your choice. And then press down with the right foot, really press down with the right foot, and then just hover the left foot as close to the ground without touching as you possibly can muster. And then we're just going to stay here for a couple of breaths. Last couple of breaths. You got cramp. And then left leg, you always get cramp though. And then keep the hips where they are. Left leg really strong. Feel all those little points with the feet. Keep pressing in and hover the right leg. And then just a few breaths. Here. So that right knee can stay bent if it's comfortable. The right foot is very close to the ground, like it's about to land. It's just about to land, but it's not. Still staying here. Last couple of breaths. And then foot down, and then as slowly as you can possibly find, start to roll your spine down into the ground. And then at some point you'll find the sacrum lands. And take whatever stretch is going to be delightful. That might be Apanasana. It might be something else. Yeah. Entirely your call. Well, let's take another couple of breaths, because that was tricky already. And what's to come is a little bit mean. So while you're still having a little roll round, in a minute, we're going to come to do our half boat with little wrist circles, which are going to be nice. But we are going to hold our half boat for some time. If at any point you feel a little bit kind of constricted anywhere, just drop down and then come back to it. So it's a really weighty position, and it's really tough. So when we come into half boat, we're going to circle the wrist, and we're also going to keep on circling the head, so we don't pull as little as possible some of the neck muscles, strain them in our efforts to be amazing. Up to you whether you want to come from floor up or whether you want to come from boat down. Either way, you get there and then you feel that your neck muscles have started to come on to support your head, and you think, okay, I'm going to move them, and then move the wrists, keeping the belly really, really engaged. So wrists are moving, heads are moving. We've got about another 3 decent breaths. Just another 2. Just one more. And then drop down. Have a gentle breath. Have another breath. And we're going to do that twice more. When you feel ready, come up exactly the same. Wrists and head moving. Light. And we are holding it for some time, so we really are asking a lot of our center. we're asking a lot of control. So really think about tucking, really think about tucking the pelvis. That's it. So the back isn't doing quite so much work. Lovely. Nice, Kay, really lovely. Lovely feet, Louise, W. And then down, all the way down, all the way down. Proper rest, proper rest, proper breath. Just let the belly know that you're all right. We're all right. And you might think, sod doing the third one. My core is very well activated, and doing a third one's going to serve me no purpose. Gem's already there. Before you start, Gem, because I love that, your option for this third one is to do the first little arm overhead action. What's going to want to, it's going to be tough because what we want to be thinking about is taking the arms back and using our musculature to keep them there, which is going to be hard work anyway. And then obviously half boat in itself is hard, all right? So if you're half boat with the arms by the ears, think arms step back. They keep on working back. So you're adding another dimension. Everything else stays the same. You can still roll the wrist, keep the belly engaged, really nice and long. Yep, keep pushing the arms back as if the thumbs want to go to the ground. Last two breaths. Last breath. And all the way down. You might want to go long with your body. You might want to arc the back and give your front of your body a lovely big stretch. So do the opposite one that we've just done. Okay. And when you feel ready, last thing before we come into our sun cells, we're just going to check on our shoulder mobility in the flexion stage. So with your legs long, if you've got space to do that, legs long and arms overhead. Yes, right. And now pretend that we're kind of in a handstand. So first thing is take the arms kind of shoulder width. You got space? Yep. Yes, you have. Yep. And then second thing is connect with each little vertebrae of your rib cage. So don't arc anywhere. Really connect. Press down with your kind of middle back. So the arms stay there. Press down as if you're trying to get the space between the shoulder blades to find the earth. Keep pressing down. And then press the hand into the earth. You might feel more comfortable with the backs of the hands on the earth. You might feel more comfortable with the thumbs pressing into the earth. Just somewhere that you can find activation. So belly is really active and you're pressing down through the shoulder blades and the rib cage and you're pressing down with the hands. The last breath, keep pressing and then release. Just have a little second to feel what that's changed. And if, like me, you've got some wrist stuff going on, you might feel that has done something to the wrist in a good way or not in a good way. It's all intricately connected. Yeah. And then whenever it suits you, flip on over to some really lovely cat cows. Yeah. So it's the first time that we're actually on our hands. So allow the hands just to start easily bearing weight. And every time you cat cow, just change the orientation of your hands and your fingers. Give it a little go. Definite no. Brilliant. And then just take the weight back a little bit. So just move your hips closer to your heels so the weight's off the hands. And then just lift the palms and the fingers, and then replace the fingers, the knuckles, and the palms. And then as you do that, that little motion, it's like a little wave of the fingers, start to put a bit more weight on it. So you start to come forward as you do it. And you might find that you can get all the way forward, just like in cat-cow, or you might not. Yeah, wherever you are, do one more. Melanie, I think you can come a little bit further forward if your wrist has been feeling all right. So really put some weight through. Yep, and then come down slowly with the hands, but keep the weight forward as you come down slowly. So it's just the hands that come down. That's it. And then, yeah, that's it. Nice. Lovely. And then just take the weight off the hands. See how they feel. Hopefully this whole bit is feeling a little bit more alive. In a nice way. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then last little thing. We're going to use the edges of our palm, and we're going to try and do a little circle around the whole edge of our palm. So in a minute, we're going to spin that palm around with some weight on. So our hand really gets used to weight in all different areas. So you can do this on your wrist. You can do this kneeling, or you can do it kind of seated kneeling. And all we're doing is we're trying to get as many different places to have a little bit of an experience of weight. That's all. And you might find that some places are really happy to bear weight because that's kind of natural, and some places that feel a little bit like wall. And then go in the other direction. And then before you finish that hand, just put the whole hand on the floor, and then just give it a little bit of a press. So higher palm, yeah. And then have a little shake, and then just feel from one side to the other. Maybe that side that you've done feels more subtle, like you can feel there's more parts of it. It feels like you've got more access to all the little tiny parts. Whereas the other one feels a little bit more kind of paddle-like, maybe. And then other side, same again. And again, you're in control of the speed and how much weight you're putting through that palm. Yep. Let's see if I can open a little bit of window. Without. And then if you haven't turned the other direction, you can do that now. That's better. I can still see you. Yeah. Lovely. And then you can just finish off by putting the whole palm down and putting your amount of weight on it. Just have a little refill. And then take that hand off the floor and just have a feel into both. They might feel a little bit more similar, maybe. And then just down dog. We set it all in down dog. Yeah. And as usual, down dog might be a little bit movement. Might find a little bit of a rock. Yeah. We might shake our hips a little bit. All nice things. Last breath before we travel forward. And then exhale as we fold forward. Okay. Just as we're in our fold, you can just stay here as you have a little look and a think. In a minute, we're going to be coming into warrior three, kind of at the front of our mat. So if you think, actually, I need to move my mat so that I've got space for my torso to come over the front of it. Go for it. I'm going to do that with you actually. Brilliant. And then if you press down through every single one of your toes, and then lift up into your flat back. And then take the arms, and then feel the work involved in taking the arms over your head. And then travel down with the arms staying over the head. They might feel a little bit easier than normally they do at this stage. Maybe you might feel like you've got a little bit more room there. Press your feet down, lift all the way up. And then exhale, hands into your heart center. A little bit different here, just like we did when we were laying on our back. As we inhale, right arm up, left arm down. Really nice. And then rather than keep them there like we're just kind of hailing a taxi, really make it active as if we're really, really reaching up and really, really pressing down. Last breath. And then both arms can sweep up. Both arms can tumble down, forward fold. Drop the head. Same again, other side. Inhale, flat back. Brilliant. Take the arms by the ears, and again, you might be surprised that there's a little bit more space, a little bit less restriction, a little bit less need to kind of come into a back bend. And then chair. Find the feet pressed down, inhale, lift. Exhale, hands somewhere on the body. Inhale, left arm shoots up, right arm dives down. And really, really, really reach. So that neck comes really close to the ear. Last breath, really reach. Really feel, I'm loving those fingers. They're like, argh. And the arms come down to go up. And then exhale all the way down. We'll just do those two. Yeah. Okay, a little bit of a change. We're going to come into warrior three. If you think I'm feeling like it's one of those days where I might need my blocks, grab them. If you think I'm feeling like it's one of those days where I'm going to rock and roll around and I'm loving it, then don't. Yeah, your choice. Very, very gently in a forward fold, start to press the left foot down and start to take the right foot behind you. So you're in this kind of almost weird like runner's lunge. And then lift up into warrior three. And I need even more space than I thought. Once you're in your warrior three, once you feel steady, eyes are stayed on the ground, just take the arms by the ears like we've been doing. And then you might press into the heels of the hand. On your next exhale, take the arms and the hands down, lift that floating leg up into standing splits. Round the back, really round, so you drop in like a little turtle. Take your time. Take your time. Exactly the same twice more. So start to lift up. Warrior three. Hands in prayer, yes. And then gently, what? Extend the arms out. Level off the hips. Inhale, really nice. Exhale, slowly descend. Maybe fingertips on the ground, maybe not whole palms, that's fine. But that floating leg is as high as we can possibly muster. And we're folded in, we're looking at our ankle or our knee. Brilliant, last one. Warrior three. Hands in prayer. You don't have to come all the way. And then warrior three, hands by the ears. Yes. Inhale. This time as we exhale, step a little bit back. Nice, lovely. So left foot is still forward, right foot is still back. You might be feeling that glute is like, oh, what the hell? What the hell? Maybe yours is like just like a normal day. Crescent lunge. Find a comfortable crescent lunge. We're going to be here for a while. All right. So make it as wide to feel stable and as long to feel interesting. Once you've got it, we're going to try not to let the chest come forward like an incredible banner. We'll try and keep it back, and then we'll do little small circles from the shoulder. So the shoulders are just below that height. Sorry, the hands are just below the height of the shoulders. So we know at the minute that base of the shoulder blade is kind of where it is usually. And then start to take the arms up and still circle. That's it. Really nice. And now you know that little bottom bit of your shoulder blade is winged out, literally like a wing. Hello, blue. And then even higher. So maybe like a V shape. And then drop the arms. Oh, have a little release. And then we're going to come straight to down dog with one leg up. So if you drop your hands, the leg that's in front is going to be the leg that comes up to the sky. So that's going to be your floating leg and your I can't get my words up. In your three-legged dog. That's the one. If I could put my hand down, I would. So it's going to go from forward to back. Oh, lovely. Really nice. And then put your feet down, drop your knees. Sorry, my neighbour's just lost control of her dog. She's just run all the way down the road. Yeah, it's the one that I had to go at as well. I know. From our tabletop, we're going to come into whatever version of plank. So Elaine, you might want to be in forearm. If you're in forearm, it's going to be a little bit difficult to do what we're doing, but it's totally fine. Yeah, so preferably palms down, but forearm is totally fine. Once you've found plank, really nice comfortable plank, we're going to lift the right hand off of the floor and very, very gently touch the right hand onto the left shoulder. So it's like a really soft movement, even though we're in plank. Yes. And then inhale, weight there. Exhale, touch that right hand to the left elbow. Really, really gently. That's it. You got it gently. Really nice. Weight there. And then drop that right hand to the left wrist. Yes. Nice. How are you doing today? I don't know. Both hands come down, knees down. Well done. Roll all the way down onto your belly. Yeah. Yeah, me too, Kay. Me too. It's like catopia here. Once you get on your belly, have a little wriggle, just reset the body. And then choose if you want to do locust with your arms by your side, or if you feel like there's enough room to do locust with your arms by your ears. And normally when we come up into locust with the arms by the ears, there's a little bit less space to come up into our back bend because we're restricted a little bit. But see how it feels with, yeah. Really nice. Oh, there's some lovely locusts there. Gorgeous. Legs come a little tiny bit closer together, Kay. So we're just, yes. That looks really good, Jenny. You've got the legs are really nice. Nice there. Brilliant. That right arm a little bit higher, Melanie, as well. That's it. And then all the way down. Yes. Have a little wriggle. Wriggle it out. Have a little move. Super sweet. Whenever you feel ready, down dog, or maybe just step. I meant to say sit, but it sounded something completely random. Yeah. In your down dog, your choice. You might decide to have a little hop in whatever you want, pincher or palms down. You might decide to have a couple. Yes. Your choice. And at some point, oh, that's lovely. Elaine, that was lovely. And then gently, just come rest and thread the needle. Just come rest and thread the needle. So arm threads through, other arm. Yep. If you want to rest, that's it, Jem, you got it. Nice. Oh, Melanie, you've gone. Hopefully you're still there on your back. We're going to thread the needle. Yeah, I can see you. Yep. Arm wherever it feels comfortable. And just remember which side you've been looking, because for the next round, we'll do thread the needle looking to the other side. Gently pull both those hands back together to the center. And come back up to tabletop. And lift yourself forward into a forward fold. I know what you want. You want cuddles, all right? From your forward fold, we're going to come straight to the other side. So again, with or without blocks. Really press down with the right foot. Find the right foot on the earth. And then start to lengthen out that left foot behind you. That left leg comes behind you. From here, we can lift up into that strong warrior 3 with our palms in our center. When you exhale, push. So take the arms by the ears, push out. Inhale as we pause. Really nice. Belly stays active, so we've got something to push into. And then exhale, maybe fingertips down, maybe you're on blocks. Standing splits that. Standing leg, sorry, that floating leg is high. And we're folded in. We're really folded in. Head is dropped, belly's on the thighs. And then we come up again. So bend the standing leg. Kick into it to lift up. Warrior 3. Hands in prayer. Inhale, really nice. Exhale, push. Extend the arms. Maybe you flex the wrist, up to you. Next exhale, fold down. Your choice of hand position, the leg is high. Last one, I know. Inhale. Exhale, bend the standing leg. And then push into it to lift up. Inhale as you pause. Exhale, extend the arms, extend the leg. Inhale to pause. Yes. I know, me too, Melanie. Exhale. Leg comes behind, crescent lunge. Oh, crescent lunge. I know, that was just terrible. We did 3 as well. Find comfort in your crescent lunge. Find comfort, yeah. And then we won't do any of those arm circles, just take the arms up. And if the chest wants to have an explore of the ceiling, let it go. Just let it go. Why not? And then notice that the arms can come further back, so let them draw further back. And then maybe see what happens if you keep the arms exactly where they are, but start to take the ribs in. And it might take you 2 or 3 little maneuvers together in place. So keep on drawing the arms back with effort, and then drawing your ribs in, drawing the arms back, drawing the ribs in, drawing the arms back, drawing the ribs in. Oh. And then as you exhale, let it go. Hands come down. That front leg is going to be the floating leg in your 3-legged. So it just sweeps back and all the way back and up. All the way, yes. Really nice. And then gently, both feet down. Come into the plank of your choice. Yeah. Don't worry too much about whether you're having a little break of the hands in between, it's fine. When you find that strong plank, gently lift the left hand and pop it on the shoulder. And you might keep it there, you might move it back. Next breath, pop it on the elbow. You might keep it on the elbow, you might replace it, your choice. Next breath, onto the wrist. So nice. If it's not already there, next breath, both hands or both elbows down. I know. And then gently, all the way down onto your floor. All the way down. Yes. Brilliant. Locust. If it felt nice with the locust up by the ears, go for it. But make it active. So that arms. Yes, lovely. Yeah, I do that as well. Want to grab hold, Melanie? I feel you. Yeah, really nice. Lovely. Last little breath. And then come all the way down, have a little shake. A little shake. Yes, beautiful. And decide maybe you stay there for a little bit longer. Why wouldn't you? Maybe you think, I'm ready to come up. I'm going to come up and I'm going to do my couple of hops. I would do a couple of hops, but I'm not sure Merlin is not going to be in my way. Yes, they look great. Nice, Louise. That'd be really good height. Lovely. Go easy, Elaine. Mrs. Oh, nice, Louise. That's really nice. I love everyone's faces because it's exactly how I feel about it. And then gently thread the needle, looking the other direction that you looked before. Yeah. Yeah, just really get to be, what's a word? Enjoy this bit. Enjoy this bit. Okay. Couple more breaths, and then we're going to do that little kicking action. So when you're ready, come up to either down dog or pincher, depending on, down dog's a little bit easier because you've got more space underneath you, but if your wrists or fingers aren't playing ball, you've got no option. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up, and you can start wherever you want. We're going to lift one leg, and then we're going to bend. So it's a bend. You'll probably feel a pull on your quad, and that will tell you that's another place that you need a bit of space when we come to do our hops. Yeah, and make it, that's it. Nice, Louise. So Louise S, can you, rather than the knee coming out to the side, does it feel comfy on the knee though? Yeah? Ish or no? Okay. So at the minute, if we haven't done the other side, do the other side. At the minute, when you go up, it goes out to the side, it wings out. When it comes up, can you keep the line center? It might be the line of pull. It might just be that that's where you've got a bit more room to bend the knee, because that's a big ask. That's better, really nice. And then do the other side if you haven't already. And then once you feel that you've done evenly both sides, just have a rest. I know this sounds weird, but let that movement permeate. So what we've just done, just allow it to mix in. So it's a weird thing to do, but that's what we need to do in order to get that bottom leg up. Okay, so now we take it a little bit more interesting. We come, same thing, same move, but we come into plank. And again, it's easier if you've got your palms down because you've got a little bit more space. And then in the plank, we lift one leg and then we bend and kick. And then just do, yes. And as long as the mobility is there, really make it into so it's not a quiet movement, it's a kick. So think about kicking a ball but backwards, that's it. And then do the other side if you haven't already. Yes. Just one more. And then very gently make your way into a short, wide down dog. So there's hardly any weight. It's almost like a wide leg forward fold, but not quite. So there's almost no weight going through your hands. And then just take one hand and pass it underneath your body onto the opposite ankle. So one hand is just crossing, that's it. And just let the head dangle. And if you want, you can pull on the ankle and you can look underneath your armpit for a little bit more of a twist. And you can bend the arm that's got hold of the ankle as well if you want. And that's going to give you a little bit more space. So Gem, I'm kind of here. If you bend this elbow, you'll find a little bit more twisting action, which might be a nice thing, might not. Lovely. And then just come to find the other side. You might change the position of your wide leg down dog, or you might think, no, that's perfect. You might just change sides. Maybe bending the ankle, the elbow, maybe. Oh, a couple more breaths. Brilliant. And then just drop onto your knees. You'll be in like a weird kind of odd tabletop position. And then if you want, chaturanga. If you want to omit, fine, come onto your belly. And we're just going to have a little bit of a hold in bow. Up to you, 1 or 2 legs. Let knees bend. Yep. Have a little bit of time there. Just check in with quads. So we've just been stretching them with those little kicks. And then flex the feet so you can feel those tendons start to switch on. Yeah. And then kick in. So as if your feet are trying to go behind you, and then lift the legs up. Oh, yes. Really nice. Head can be a little bit soft. Legs a little bit higher, as if you're a boat. Last breath. And slowly drop down. Brilliant. Gently press up and come into child's. If child isn't comfortable, you can come briefly onto your back and do the same motion there. Or you can come briefly to sit and do the same motion there. So it's the same way. It's just that child is loading on your knees. Brilliant. And then just before we come to do our last little hop, so we're just going to do a last little puppy position. So start to take your arms out in front of you, but keep your bum and your knees as if they're made of clay, so you can't move them. You can only move your arms. And start to walk your arms and your hands forward. Keep really reaching them forward, and then keep pressing them. And then, yeah, you Jem, you know what I'm going to say? It's a lovely back bend to do, but don't back bend. Keep it into shoulder. That's it. Nice, Kate. I reckon you've got a little bit more space in your shoulders. So walk your hands a little bit further forward, but keep them active. Don't make this be passive. Louise W, it looks like your right hand is more active than your left. Can you feel that, or is it just the camera angle? Can you press your left hand down? Press the left hand down more. That's it. Love that, Louise S. And then come out. Doesn't need long. That one doesn't need long. Brilliant. Have a little roll. Okay. Just before we possibly come to do the wall, we'll just have a little check-in. Just what we did at the start of class. We're going to take our arms overhead and see if we've got a little bit more ease now. They're a little bit closer to the ground. If they weren't, you won't be able to tell. If they were hitting the ground before, you won't be able to tell, or you might be able to. So it just feels a little bit more easy to have really good pressing of the middle back, and yet really good pressing of the wrists. Yeah, don't need to be there for long. And then when you're ready, come all the way up. Okay. So we've got a couple of options now. We'll spend about 2 minutes playing against the wall. If the wall is not there, or you just think it's just not a good idea for whatever reason, you might spend the next 2 minutes doing a combination hopping either in pincher or not, down dog hops, and then doing a combination of hopping and that little kick. Just be wary, if you do the hop with the kick, you're much more likely to find yourself feeling weightless. So I wouldn't recommend you do it without the presence of a wall close to you, all right? So we're either finding a wall, making friends, and then we're hopping, exactly what we've been doing for the last few weeks, but we're adding the other leg. The other leg is going to lift and bend. Yes. Lift and bend. I can't show you because Merlin is exactly where I would kick. He won't be very happy. Really nice, Jen. Yes. Okay, so floating legs still strong. Floating legs still straight, Lane. Floating legs still straight. Bottom leg. Nice. Oh, really nice. You've actually got it. Yeah. Nice. Keep that action. That action is really good. The hips are just saying, oh, I feel like I want to be back a bit. So the foot is doing the action, but the hips just aren't coming quite up. If the hips are, you'd be there. Just take your time. Rest when you need. Nice, Melanie. Really nice. I can see Louise W's shadow. I'm going to try and work out. Yeah, just take a break. Take a break. It takes time. It takes time. Keep that breath. Really nice dismount, Jen. Brilliant. Actually, that's a really good line. Right. Shoulder blades to the back, Melanie. Shoulder blades to the wall. Shoulder blades to the wall. Guys, shut up. Okay. Have a proper rest, and we'll just do one more little experience of coming up. All right. That's it. Kicking legs straight. It's really straight. It's like a incredible something that's straight. I can't think of something. Yes. A little bit more action. Really nice. And wherever you are, if you're still up on the wall, have a gentle dismount. Yes. Nice. And then just stay wherever you are. If you feel the right dizziness, just close your eyes and just visualize kicking up to the wall. So visualize getting your feet on the wall, hips close to the wall, elbows pressing in. Just have a little think. Really nice. That was a sneaky one, Elaine. That was good though. Hips were moving. That was a great thing. And then come all the way back. If you think you want another wall, go for it. I would say we're probably good to have a little massage and a little stretch and release everything out. Yep. But don't let me stop you. If you're low in the wall, go for it. You know how we cool down. When you come to find your place, just make sure that your body feels comfortable because you've just done tons of stuff. Absolutely tons. Yeah, so Melanie, that kicking, the leg that was closest to the ground, that was what was holding you back. So your top leg was great, just wasn't coming quite up enough, that was all. So you weren't able to get there. The hips weren't coming up because the leg was dragging it down. Oh, so have a little start and just start to move the whole upper body around. And we're kind of searching for little pockets of interest. And once you find them, wherever they are, just pop a couple or maybe one finger on that place and then move whatever it is around. So it might be head, it might be wrist, might be elbow, might be neck. And you might find that as you do that, your fingers just naturally kind of walk around in other places, but keep the joints closest to where you are moving. Yep. And don't forget, often elbows are a really lovely joint to get in. And the nice thing with elbows, it's quite a simple joint to stretch as well. So if you find a little bit that's a bit sore, you can extend the arm and then bend it in. And if you want a little bit more stretch as you bend it in, bend the elbow in as well. Bend the wrist as well. Lovely. And you can stay with that massage release there. You might want to do a few more kind of traditional stretches. Maybe find the back of the shoulder, give it some room. Maybe as we do that, we spread and close the fingers. Maybe we have a explore on the other side. And then at some point, because we've done so much of the opposite, take the hands behind you and interlace the fingers and then just press them down. So we've done a lot of lifting up. So have a little press down. And as you do so, you might notice that the traps really feel nice to have a little left and right sway. And then release the hands. Hopefully that area feels quite nice now. And then travel with your blocks. And then first little thing is just going to help if we've just knotted up the traps, which we might well have done, as we're going to do that little massage release for the back of our head. So put the block behind you, rest the body comfortable, and then tuck the chin in just a little bit so you can really feel the line of bone, the base of your skull. And just reminding you, we're trying to find those little nobulas of little circles of bone. And they're either side, behind the ear, kind of in the center. When you find them, you can circle. And if you've circled one way, you might circle in the opposite direction and get a whole new set of sensations. When you feel like it's time to come over to the other side, go for it. Keeping the head heavy but soft. And then the same thing, circling that little tiny bone. And then in the opposite direction. And a couple of choices here. If you feel like this whole area needs a little bit of not congesting, you might decide to pop a block underneath your shoulder blades and open up your arms. That's sometimes such a lovely thing. Or you might decide that actually you prefer to do something for those hard-working glutes, which I'm sure we've forgotten about, but they did masses of work. Masses of work. So your option, and you can come to it whenever you want, there's absolutely no rush, is to do a really lovely supine pigeon, but rocking the legs away from a stretch sensation. Just going to pop myself on mute while I blow my nose. I don't want to disturb you. We've got about a minute and a half. So if you're in that pigeon, lovely. And you might decide that in your pigeon, you might have a little explore with what it feels like to change where the head is. So you might just gently glide the head from left to right. Or you might decide to make little circles with the back of your skull, tucking and lifting the chin. Maybe. If that's too much like multitasking, leave it. If you haven't found the other side, then it's probably a good idea. We've got about a minute. The last few breaths in pigeon, just decide if your body really wants to lay down to kind of properly have a rest, or if you feel like there's some interesting energies going on and you want to be a little bit more kind of present to them. So they've both got really great benefits, different ones. And then whenever it makes sense to you, decide how you want to start moving into your last asana. And either way, make sure that you feel that you've had enough to drink. And make sure that it feels warm enough, and if you want the comfort of a blanket or socks or something, you've got them. And then really rest the whole body down and commit to let the mind rest as well. So we focus on one thing so that we don't focus on 1,000. And then keep coming back to that one thing, and I'll come and get you. just as gently as you can, start to unwind the body. Rolling it maybe onto your side if you're laying down. If you're seated, allowing the back just to round and the head to ease. Just a little slump. And just notice how you feel right now, this millisecond. And then take a big sigh. And then you can draw yourself all the way up if you're not already there. And spread the arms. Oh, I was a bit quick. Spread the arms. Take them up, lift them. And then drop them down. Lift them. Drop them down. And then lift them left and right into your heart center. Namaste. Namaste. I'm going to stop the recording. There we go. Stop recording.